Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out my broadcast. My name is Jonathan, and today is day 409 of my 3-year challenge here that I created for myself to record my weight loss and progress. If you are just tuning into this for the first time, a little bit about me and the channel. I'm 39 years old. I'm married. We have 4 children, and I've been overweight as long as I can remember or my whole life. I've done a lot of yo-yo diets, or a lot of dieting as an adult and, kind of gone through the yo-yoing of weight loss. And in 2020, I decided that I needed to do something, and so I created this challenge. When I created this challenge, there were two main goals in mind. The first goal was that I need to stick to something longer than I had ever done it before. I know that I can lose weight very quickly or that I have a lot of motivation early on, but to stick with something and to keep focus on it and, to make it a lasting thing, I needed to make lifelong changes. In order to do that, I needed to commit to doing this longer than I had ever committed before. That's why I challenged myself to do this for 3 years. The other big part of this challenge is I had a lot of weight to lose, or I do have a lot of weight to lose. And I a lot of times would set a goal of losing 100 pounds or getting under 300 pounds has always been a big goal of mine. And it's great to reach those goals and to get to those points. But a lot of times I'm still pretty far from being a healthy weight. And I've never been what anybody would consider even close to a healthy weight as an adult. So that is the other big part of this goal is that, or this challenge is that I want to lose 300 pounds. So far, things have been going awesome. In the first year, I was able to hit that 200 pounds lost. I've gained a little bit since then. I've had some medical issues with a torn distal bicep tendon and just kind of other things going on. But right now, I currently am 332.4 pounds. And today's Tuesday. I will be weighing in tomorrow because it'll be weigh in Wednesday. Uh, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do click on that subscribe button. Or if you like what you're listening to or seeing, click on that subscribe button. Also, the bell icon, click on that to turn on notifications so you'll get alerted when I go live, which is usually around 4 p.m. Central Time on weekdays. I hope all you guys had a great evening. I feel like it just comes so quick, like there's not a whole lot that goes on between the each of these kind of recordings, but yesterday after I left here, I listened to my book on the way home. I'm getting really close to the end of the book. I'm listening to The Pleasure Trap, written by Dr. Lyle and Ellen Goldhammer. This will be the third time I've listened to the Pleasure Trap book, and it really is great to listen to it again. I feel like there's parts of the book, like right now, they're talking towards the end of the book, they talk a lot about blood pressure and some of the things that they talk about with the benefits that they found with water fasting and blood pressure. I know that I've listened to this twice and I still feel like I'm hearing the things again for the first time. And it maybe I am thinking about it more. I realize, I've thought about maybe a lot more since the last time I read the book about how much, how close I was to having some sort of coronary issue or having some sort of heart attack. And that just by luck, I kind of chose a path that would has shown great benefit with blood pressure and arteries and blood systems. And they talk about a study that they did from their patients, and if not everybody, almost everybody had incredible results. And so I'd like the book. If you haven't listened to The Pleasure Trap or read The Pleasure Trap, I would recommend it. I'm about, like I said, a half hour left, and I know the last I mean, I'll listen to it on the way home and I'll be done with it. But the last 15 minutes, I don't know that there's much to it, or that they add much more information. It kind of just wraps everything up. But I'm happy that I listened to it again. I do need to find another book to listen to. I need to talk to my brother. He was telling me to listen to Born to Run or to read it. So I might check that out because I have been looking a lot more into that barefoot stuff or focusing more on that since I've switched to minimalist shoes. Carrie has been starting to wear a pair, and I might have my kids wear them sometimes, or more, have them wear them, uh, like shoes with less support than, uh, normal running shoes have, just because, excuse me, a lot of what they talk about, from what I understand in the Born to Run book, is how these shoes are damaging our feet, and um, by having the support or having these things, it's great in some respects, but then over time, your body starts not being able to do things because those muscles are weak, like in your arches. If your body never has to support the arches without shoes, then when you go to walk around without shoes, there won't be any muscle there to support. And so that's probably going to be the next book I read. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I haven't seen any plant-based books or anything new come out. I did watch kind of a short documentary that I saw online, and I don't know if it's new or if I assume it's new from what I understand, but it's called Entangled, and it's just kind of like a 25-minute clip, and it just kind of goes over the story of how like a dozen people got together to help free this mother whale and her baby from a net. And the images and stuff were uh pretty sad to see, like it's just this huge net that they said was probably miles in length that they got caught up into, that the mother and then the calf, I think is what you would call the baby humpback whale, was actually trapped in the net, like with the mother. And they, like, the every now and then the baby would be unable to like breathe, or it would be underwater for a real long time. And I guess that's what they can do that, but it didn't have any control of when it was in the water and when it was not in the water, which I'm sure made it difficult. And then also the buoys from the netting were keeping them from being able to dive. Even if they wanted to go underwater, the buoys were keeping them because they were right up against their bodies. And so these guys kind of grabbed their knives and some equipment, and they were able to free the whales. I think they said it took a couple hours for them to get the whole thing done, but it was kind of a neat story. It's unfortunate the kind of the end of it wraps up essentially that this is just one case in probably hundreds that happen because of the way the fishing is done. And that if they and that they know that they have this period of time where like these whales migrate, and if they didn't fish during that time, there'd be less incidences where these whales are getting into the netting, but they don't stop ever fishing. They're constantly fishing. And um that was something a friend of mine was talking to me the other day about with our fishing, is that we don't ever stop fishing the water. Like these companies, they have these nets out 24/7. They're constantly catching fish, and they're never taking a break, like if you were just going fishing for yourself, you just fish for a couple hours, and then that's all the effect that would have. But these fishing companies have their nets down there 24/7, or they have these traps out all the time. So it really does a lot to damage the environment, in the ocean and the sea. And I never really figured I'd care about it at all. I mean, as much as I seem to be caring about it now, I guess. Like sure I care about the environment, but it's just I don't know. It's interesting um how much of an impact that I've already had on the world, and that even if I fixed everything right now, just the amount of waste that's going to be around for a long time. It's crazy. It's not anyways. Um so I really like that kind of documentary. If you get a chance to watch Entangled, it's a neat I think it's 25 minutes, so it's not real long. Um but let's see, I'm finishing up the book here, and then food wise on the diet last night, we had a mashup of things across the board. Uh Carrie made a mashed potato dish. I don't know where she got the recipe. If I get a chance to hit her up about sharing it, I will. But essentially she just made little puffs of mashed potatoes, the best I can explain it. They were um the size, I don't even know what to compare it to. They were like just round uh hash browns. I guess they were like hash brown size puffs of um not hash browns, hush puppy. Like hush puppies, if you know what those are from like Long John Silver's. And they were just potatoes that she had heated up in the oven, and then she also took some and put them in the waffle iron and fried them that way, just to kind of make like a crispy potato. I was not a huge fan of them out of the waffle iron, but I did like them out of the oven. She might have air fried them, but they were in the oven air fryer. I really like the flavor of them. They had a lot of seasoning in them. The kids were hit or miss with them. They're kind of 50-50 again, whether they ate them or did not eat them. Also, when they were dipping them in ketchup and had other options that um, I did not, but I really liked them. Let's see. Then we had oh, I had an event that I had to go. My son had a Cub Scout meeting, and so I had a smoothie as well. So I had that. And then this morning I had oatmeal, and then I've had Ezekiel bread with peanut butter on it. I'm on the fence. Like I want to get rid of the peanut butter, just to say, you know what, let's not get the Crazy Richards peanut butter anymore. But I also know how many times I've stood at the pantry and thought, what am I going to have? And been like, you know what, that's quick and easy. And you know, it's something, because I'm going to like, there's times when I'm going to want something and I got to have an option. And, um, maybe if I can think of, I don't know. I don't, I don't, what do you guys do for snacks if you guys eat plant based? I'd love to hear any suggestions, really, because the, just even heating up rice or something, I'm thinking of wouldn't be bad, or probably would be better than eating the Ezekiel bread with the peanut butter on it. Um, but right now, I am happy with the diet. I'm happy with the selection of foods that we're going through. Carrie's trying all these new things still, which is really cool. And we're trying a lot of new recipes, and like things like those potato puffs, they might not be something she makes again, because the difficulty of the time it took, it seemed very, for something that she thought was going to be quick, it seemed like it did take a lot of time for prep and cooking, and then the payoff itself. But the other thing I was going to talk about today, I did not even really address it yesterday, I realized, but this weekend would have been like the 1 year since I finished my 1,000-hour water fast. I would have finished that on December 12th, I think, or the 11th, the 12th. And so I'm 1 year since I did that water fast. And I hadn't really done any type of a recap on kind of either, how I feel about fasting since then, or like the different things, or where I'm at now, because I'm at, I lost 90 pounds during the water fast, and then I've lost another almost 100 pounds since then. Um and it has been crazy. Uh the Being 1 year whole food plant based has been, or not whole food, but let's 1 year no animal products, I guess, is, or 1 year plant based, um has been a wild ride. And it has been great to lose the weight. Kind of, it was very quick at first, and I've been very plateaued here for a very long time. But I I've never plateaued for this long. I've never um I've never held on to be, like, the even, I would have quit weighing. I would have been eating other things, the other things would have come up, or I wouldn't be still doing this. And this diet, like I just said, Carrie's trying new things. We're getting this variety of foods and these flavors. And so many times I taste something like those potatoes and they remind me of a flavor. Like, I couldn't pin it yesterday. I don't know what it is. I still don't. But I was like, this has really got uh, a flavor that is, I don't know if it was nostalgic or what, but I enjoyed it. Like, it was just something that, uh I don't need to have meat and animal products to get all these flavors. There's so many things that I'm able to enjoy, and I feel so much better. Like, even when I have the things that aren't on my diet, like eat the Impossible Burgers, or eat the chicken nuggets, or the chips, or something like that, like having sauce, like tortilla chips with salt. I don't feel like it's super greasy. The chips themselves are probably oily, or more times than not. But the other fake meats and things, they seem just less greasy. And um and back to the book, they talk about coronary health, and just how what we eat improves our coronary health. But the being 1 year whole food plant based, and like the number of books that I've read, the number of um the videos I've watched, the amount of information that I've gathered. I don't know. I don't know if there keto books. Is there that many keto books, or that many books that talk about eating a carnivore? Or, I mean, there are a ton of low carb books, I guess, out there, but like, that have longevity studies, or, like, is there, I don't know. I don't know. It's amazing to me to see all of the evidence pointing towards the benefits of eating the way that I'm eating, and it not being more mainstream, or it not being more out there. And I, sitting here, I said it many times. It's such a weird, like, being on the other side of the, the tracks, or, like, the being on this side of this way of eating now, and looking at things. There's so many things to me that seem like they should be more obvious, or that I don't know why I didn't understand them before, or grasp them better, and that I would have been so resistant to doing this. Like, I have a hard time like having conversations with people that are lighter. Like I talked to somebody this past week about eating this way, and they're a healthy person, or they appear healthy. They're a healthy weight. They're not way overweight. Carrie says, "Hey, better late than never. No worries." Nothing very interesting happened. So hope everything's going great at home. Um, but but it even feels weird talking to people about this because um they get defensive a bit right away. And in the Pleasure Trap book, they devote a whole chapter to, just not even talking to people about it. Just just do your thing and just tell people that you're trying something out and let your thing be your thing. And um I want to do that. And I really do. I want this, I want to just let it go, but uh, I think that like with our kids, I my kids have a hard time with this transition because they don't understand why they have to miss out on things, and uh they want to hold on to that way of eating so hard, and even we had an instance the other day where one of my kids was given a cookie that had chocolate chips in it, and we aren't, I don't know, I'm more strict about it than I ever thought I was going to be. I care about it more than I thought I was going to. um but at the same time, I can't get too mad at them for not knowing better, and yeah, it's funny because the book talks about dealing with two types of people too. You deal with the people that are uneducated, which are our kids, and it's tough to like I can't sit there and try to uh with an adult. I can kind of talk about some of the horrors of the industry and they can kind of visualize or understand those things, but like with my kids, it's a little bit tougher because they don't have that frame of reference, or they can't really quite grasp it, or they don't understand, like my twins. uh I don't think really understand that, that they know that hamburgers come from cows, but they don't understand that they aren't like a resource that cows give us. Like a tree gives us an apple, a cow doesn't just hand us hamburger and go about its day. And I don't think that they grasp that. And we're not at a point that uh I want them to have to grasp that, but I also have to find a way to get them to not eat. And it's super weird too because uh they just shout the word vegan in the most public places because they care zero that people know that we eat a vegan diet, or if it doesn't say vegan on it, that we don't generally eat it, and it's a little bit embarrassing, and it shouldn't be, but it is a little bit. I don't know how I even got here. um just being a year plant-based and being, you know I don't want to be that, that pushy person, but I'm being that pushy person. I am, like, especially, I've kind of said it to people, um, that like, if I'm not pushing you on this, then I probably don't care about you. That's not true. But if I am pushing you on this, it means I really fucking care about you. That's a better way to say it. If I'm pushing you on it, it means I really care. And we're really pushing our kids and they're doing pretty good. But it's tough because they don't eat, like, and they don't want to like like one of our kids had goldfish snacks the other day, and they don't want to believe that they can't have goldfish snacks because they know how great they are, but that cheese is not on our diet, and so um it, it's tough, like I said, with kids it's really tough. Um but I didn't think, when I started when I started the fast, it wasn't until a week or 2 weeks, like December 1, that we really committed to doing it this way. And I did fall off watching my streams, and I should go back and see if there's a specific day where I said I'm doing this. Cause I think I might have even held it until I was like refeeding. Cause I just didn't know, like, it seems so crazy to me to eat this way. And now, um, I'm kicking myself because I've fallen, like, eating a whole food plant-based diet with no added salt, oil, or sugar. You are going to lose weight. It's gonna happen. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are not adding the processed foods, if you don't have the added salt, oil, and sugar, you are going to lose weight. And it is so frustrating to me that it's not even considered. And it seems so uh extreme. It's crazy that eating what I would say is the closest way to what our ancestors ate is is considered extreme, is just incredible. Like the the the, the idea of, like, the amount of work that has to be done to make a block of cheese, or to make, anything like that. um Carrie's just posted here that her mom called to tell her that they left a restaurant with their friends the other day because they didn't have anything at the restaurant they could eat. Yeah, and I read a story, or somebody was asking about local places where we are. Um, she said they did it politely, of course. Yeah, I mean, and that's not. I'm excited. I hope that maybe somebody saw that and said, "Well, why did those people leave?" And they said, "Well, we didn't have anything that was vegan." And then the owner says, "Well, that's the third person that's walked out this week because we didn't have anything that was vegan. Maybe we should add a single vegan dish." But Carrie says that Pat's watching, but she can't figure out how to chat. Hi, Pat. I hope everything's going well with you today. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's why I like going to these restaurants that do have these vegan options, and getting, the all vegan thing, and having a great experience, and tipping well, and making sure that they understand that uh that it's appreciated, especially that place I went to that I showed the menu the other day, that they had it on the menu how to ask if it had options that were vegan, or request vegan, gluten free, request gluten free, vegetarian. Just really cool for a bar too, of all places, to have a menu like that. I thought, or a brewery, I guess. Uh, I thought it was pretty cool. Um, uh, so I got totally sidetracked by this. It's unfortunate though that they had to leave the restaurant because, oh, I started to tell a story that, yeah, that um, somebody was asking. They said, "Hey, I'm going out to dinner at this restaurant." I contacted them. They said that the best they can do is give me vegetables, like in quotes, like that was the vegan dish, was just called vegetables. And it's unfortunate that uh, that's the way a lot of these restaurants are set up, but they're switching. And I watched a video today that was talking about how eventually these companies are going to go more towards plant-based meats. And when you look at other companies in the past, when you look at the two big examples they gave was that Chevrolet 20 years ago or 30 years ago said there was no way that they were going to have electric cars and they weren't going to invest in electric cars. And then now they're coming out saying that within 20 years, they're only going to produce electric cars, you know? And so that transition happened because it took time for technology to catch up and the market and everything to work out. But eventually they switched because it made sense, or they are doing these switches because it makes sense for them monetarily. The other example that they gave, and I didn't really know much about it, was that Pandora, that does diamonds, that they 10, 20 years ago um, were criticizing the fake diamond market or the man-made diamond market, and then now they're releasing that they are not going to do, they're only going to do man-made diamonds, they're not doing the other thing, you know, and or something like along those lines. And food companies are going to start doing that with these foods that they're making that are very similar. I mean, when you look at the quality control that they can have on these things, like the idea the other day I shared, or I'd heard that there's a company um that is making uh ice cream that uses, it's got a dairy protein in it, but it's made from an algae and not made from cow's milk. And when you're able to do that, like once they figure out how to make that technology cheaper, they can have 100% control over it versus dealing with milking of cows and feeding of cows and the waste that comes with that industry. Really, like that figure I heard the other day, that it's for every 100 calories that you give a cow, you get 3 calories back. I mean, that's crazy. So you give them 100 bean burgers and you get 3 hamburgers back. I mean, you can feed 100 people versus feeding 3, you know, and you're, it's just crazy. And that those numbers are just wildly crazy. Just the idea that we kill billions of animals, we keep billions of animals alive. We provide shelter and food and medicine to billions of livestock. And we have people that need those things that we can't provide, you know, like, and again, that we're wasting 10 times the food, you know, we're feeding these things 10 times what we're getting out of them. Just crazy. Or in the case of the cow, even more than that. So um anyways, going on with my 1 year recap here of being plant-based, and other than being a pushy vegan that thinks everybody should eat this way. I don't know why you're calling me while I'm going live, but you're calling me while you're here. Um, the uh I'm so distracted by the fact that you just called me. I really am. And I missed a call 5 minutes ago. Oh, I'm really confused. All right. Anyways, um, 1 year plant-based, feel amazing. Even when I've gone off of the whole food plant-based, SOS free, you're not at home. I mean, somebody called my cell phone from a number that said your name. That's what I was getting at. So, um, you might want to check on that. The um now I'm so distracted. The just Yeah, just the way I feel is incredible. And the just the waking up, not having the sore muscles, not having the sore joints, the and there's a lot of it that just comes from being 180 pounds lighter, but uh not having some of that same fatigue. Um when I am working out, I feel amazing and all those things. But uh anyways, I'm gonna get out of here today. I gotta figure out why I'm getting phone calls here and check that out. But I want to thank you guys for supporting me along the journey. And Carrie and Pat, if you're still watching, thank you guys for switching over too, because that kind of help, your guys' success has really helped keep me motivated as well, because it's not just me and Carrie doing this crazy thing sometimes. Okay, so Carrie's got it figured out. I don't know what was going on. So but I am gonna get out of here today. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do get subscribed. Click on the bell icon, do all that fun YouTube stuff. And I'm gonna get out of here. You haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. I'm a year in, I'm 180 pounds down. I feel amazing. You get started right now, you're just a year behind me. But 10 days from now, when you're going to New Year's Eve, you can be 10 days into something, and you can use that success that you've seen over the last 10 days to kind of help you get through the holidays. So anyways, you guys all have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.